Do you remember the Charleston shooting on June 17, 2015?
2015.
A young man named Dylan Roof went into a church during a prayer service and gunned down 9 people who posed no threat to him, and 3 others were injured. Once Roof was in custody, he confessed to committing the shooting in hopes of starting a race war. Remember how America immediately condemned his actions and then banned the Confederate flag almost everywhere? It was a magical time for everyone. Racism was over because we stopped people from buying a flag easily from Walmart and Amazon. Wait, so making it difficult to buy a design on a piece of fabric didn't magically cure racism everywhere? So strange. I was sure it was over. That's a shame. It means that TV land stopped showing Dukes of Hazzard for no reason. Apparently this was a good topic of conversation for #BlockedBySteve to make a video about the show for no other reason than to show that he hates the Confederate flag. Virtue signaler's got a virtue signal, I guess. He also desperately wants you to know that he's against Nazis. Did you guys know the Nazis were bad people? Just so you know, the Nazis were bad. Also, rape and murder are wrong, just in case you're retarded and don't know. Slight change of topic. Let's discuss a bit of escapist fiction about a world that could probably never happen. 1984 is a dystopian novel about the end result of total socialism. In the novel, there's a device called the memory hole. The Ministry of Truth, the propaganda arm of the government, used it to erase inconvenient documents, records, and photographs. I'm not sure if you were aware of the memory hole concept before just now, but now that I've explained it briefly, I think it may be useful for the rest of the video. So we can kind of connect the concept of the memory hole with the banning of the Confederate flag and Dukes of Hazzard together. This, of course, did nothing. The United States is not under a totalitarian government that controls every piece of information that's available to everyone, and we were not using newspeak in general parlance back then. It was starting to break out from Tumblr and college campuses, but it repulses most people when they hear it, thankfully. There is a boot and a human face, but the face remains mostly unstamped. Sometimes there is the outline of a tread, but the face and the boot remain independent of each other, for now. Let's shift the subject slightly. Again, sorry, it's going to be shifted a couple of times. If you've been on YouTube at all for the last week, you've no doubt noticed people talking about Bill Nye's cringe-tastic episode of his Netflix show about gender. I'm not going to go into the nuts and bolts of the thing. That's been done to death, and I have no urge to watch any of it again, ever. I will, however, talk about this meme that was circulated in response to the episode. While it's not 100% factually correct that he said this, it is a meme after all. Snopes calls it outright false. It is true that Bill Nye did not personally say this. In fact, gender isn't even mentioned in the episode that photo comes from. Gender is, however, mentioned in his episode about probability.
I'm a girl. Could have just as easily been a boy though, because the probability of becoming a girl is always 1 in 2. See, inside each of our cells are these things called chromosomes, and they control whether we become a boy or a girl.
Snopes does point out these facts. The author of the Snopes article also seems to think that science's understanding of sex and gender has changed since this clip was made. Maybe it has. I'll link to a paper in the description relating to this. You can make up your own mind about it. The reason I mention this is because if you go to watch the probability episode of the original Bill Nye show, that clip has been completely excised. I can confirm the clip does not appear in the episode anywhere. It's supposed to be at the 7-minute 43-second mark, and it has just been poof, vanished. This was not research I enjoyed. This was a show for kids hopped up on ADHD meds. Beekman was better anyway. Netflix has issued a statement saying they received the show from Buena Vista without the gender probability clip. I'll leave it to you to draw your own conclusions about this, but it seems to me that this is just another inconvenient piece of media tossed down the memory hole. Here you can see the desecration of a Civil War monument. Vandals came in the night to splash their politics over a piece of history. New Orleans is in the process of removing 4 Civil War monuments. Your feelings about the monuments do not discount their place in history. These monuments are part of history. It's an uncomfortable history for some, sure, but partisans in the city government have voted to rid the city of them and tuck them away in museums where they don't have to drive past them, where the public cannot view them for free. No word on when they'll start changing the street names. And this gentleman in the leather motorcycle vest is called the Black Rebel. Here he is talking about the protest to save these Civil War monuments.
I want to give you guys a quick update with how everything's going on here in New Orleans. We have been under attack since we got here. We can't even get the support from the police, can't get no help from the police. They refuse to do any reports when we're getting attacked out here by these Antifa, fascist, punks, thugs, whatever you want to call them. But I want to thank everyone who has been out there, left their homes and the comfort of their homes to come out here and fight and to continue to fight. Tonight they said that if anyone's at the monument that they're going to do another attack and that it's all going to be over, and try to threaten us not to show up. But we're not going to be intimidated. This is something that we're fighting for. This is something that we believe in, and this is something that we're going to continue to fight for. The mayor has turned this city and this whole controversy into a situation of just complete anarchy. We need all the support we can get, y'all. Please share this.
It's more uncomfortable facts swirling into the memory hole, and as I write this, there are protesters set up to defend these monuments from being torn down, and Antifa is expected to arrive, and there will be another Battle of New Orleans. This one will probably be incredibly violent, and I'm afraid there will be casualties. Just another escalation in the conflict between Antifa and regular people. There are probably some of you confused as to why there are protesters protecting these monuments, and more specifically, why I am. Why I'm speaking out about these monuments and their role in the public space. I can't speak to the motives of every protester, but let me answer that question with a question. What would your reaction be if the government of New York City decided to take down the 9/11 memorial because it promotes Islamophobia? Does that seem too far-fetched to you? It doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility in current year to me, but let's try a different scenario. Okay, what if people wanted to have the Washington Monument pulled down because he owned slaves? Thomas Jefferson also held slaves. So did Andrew Jackson and nine other presidents. What if there were groups that wanted to erase those statues from public view and send them down into the memory hole? Does their having been slave owners stop them from having accomplishments? These are serious questions. What is the point of tearing down public monuments to history? Are we meant to fight a new civil war because Antifa hates memorials of people who were on the quote-unquote wrong side of history? What else goes down the memory hole?